Welcome to Blockchain Tech and Finance News with me, your host, KinToshi. If you're on the YouTube side, please do subscribe, turn on the bell notifications. I'm just going to check the monitor playbacks whenever the stream starts. And we'll go ahead and start with the US market data. And I have a slew of different news going on. If you're in the chat, go ahead and throw your chats in there. What kind of news you think is important that you'd like to see here up on Blockchain Tech and Finance? It's been a bit. We're rolling out a lot of different buildings. So great, stream is going. All right, so yeah, throw your chats in there, what you'd like to see up on here. Otherwise, let's go right into the market data and a slew of different article readings. We got the Dow Jones Industrial Average up 0.46%, the Nasdaq Composite Index down 0.71%, S&P 500 Index is up 0.02%, the Global Dow Real Time is up 0.54%, the Gold Continuous Contract is down 1.3%, and crude oil is up 2.97%. And we got some offloading of gold into oil. I don't know. Buying oil from selling gold. That'd be my only guess. All right, so that was U.S. market data. We got Europe. FTSE 100 index is up 0.9%. The DAX is up 1.41%. 1.14%. The CAC 40 is up 0.9%. FTSE MIB index is up 1.21%. IBEX 35 is up 1.29%. The SOX 600 is up 1.05%. In the Asia market, with the Asia Dow down 0.85%. The Nikkei 225 up 0.33%. Hang Seng index down 1.75%. Shanghai Composite down 0.44%. S&P Sensex up 0.22%. FTSE Straits up 0.82%. The 200 benchmark index is up 0.1%. The Kospi index is down 0.24%. In the Asia Dow index, it's down 0.85%. The Nikkei 225 is up 0.33%. The Hang Seng index is down 1.75%. The Shanghai Composite index is down 0.44%. The S&P Sensex is up 0.22%. FTSE Straits up 0.82%. The ASX 200 benchmark is up 0.1%. Kospi index is down 0.24%. And the currencies, did I just read the Asia twice? I don't know, whatever. The euro is up 0.27%. The Japanese yen is up 0.56%. The British pound is up 0.38%. Australia dollar is flat, down 0.05%. US dollar index 0.19% down, and WSJ dollar index is down 0.06%. In cryptocurrency markets, we got the Bitcoin at $27,169 per BTC is down 2.31%. Ethereum USD is down $36. Down 2.05% at $1,725.40 per ETH. In the rates, U.S. Treasury 10 note, the U.S. 10-year Treasury note is up 0.113 point. Germany 10-year government bond is up 0.101. Italy 10-year government bond is up 0.053. Spain 10-year is up 0.072. The UK 10-year gilt up 0.078, and the Japan 10-year government bond up 0.019. First, what do we got? I mean, I've already kind of said it, but I could ever copy. Yeah, gold, $1,958.30 USD per gold ounce on the gold continuous contract, and it's down 1.29% today. Gold is like purchasing gold right around there. All right, let's go into the first article reading. Minecraft GTA may yet change their tune on blockchain game. Blockchain. It's from GameFi execs. That's from Stephen Kate, writer reporter for Cointelegraph. So yeah, Minecraft has definitely stated in the past that it will have nothing to do with blockchain or NFTs. Well, actually, no, it never said blockchain. It said just said NFTs. So that in regards, GTA may have yet to change. Oh, may have yet to change their tune on blockchain on GameFi. Okay, so sorry. Earlier I read this as they changed their tune, but no, may have yet. Okay, so while several mainstream game studios have taken a noticeable step back in integrating blockchain tech, three blockchain gaming execs say it's only a matter of time before they change their tune. In July last year, Minecraft developer Mojang Studios announced a ban on NFTs and blockchain technology. In November, Rockstar Games updated its website to stipulate that fan-operated servers in Grand Theft Auto V can no longer utilize crypto assets, specifically non-fungible token NFTs. And Walter Lee Gaming growth lead at B&B Chain argues, however, the ban is more related to NFT activities than general blockchain tech, and thinks that once more regulation is in place to guarantee player safety, mainstream studios will warm up to the technology. There's still a lack of education and regulation around Web3. Therefore, some users and companies still are skeptical about the benefits and scams that can often be associated with it, he said. Mojang Studios pointed to rug pulls surrounding certain third-party NFT integrations, along with NFT wash trading and issues around digital ownership as reasons for the ban. Lee believes player demand will ultimately tip the scale on blockchain tech and mainstream games. That being said, some gaming enthusiasts have a love-hate relationship with crypto, particularly when NFTs are involved. French gaming giant Ubisoft Entertainment was forced last year to backpedal on plans to integrate NFTs into its games after player backlash. This one statement right here pointed to rug pulls around certain third-party NFT integrations. So yeah, if you can build open source, it can be token gated, but a lot of projects like that's a rug pull wouldn't even get to building something custom server wise, interconnected Web3 and NFTs in a Minecraft example environment. That was gonna be like a rug pull. I just don't think they would waste their time with it unless they were scraping over like certain, if it was actually like a crafty like rug pull, like scraping over like builds and then like launching builds and then I don't know what it would serve. I'd probably most definitely just like launch an NFT that goes to zero or a token that goes to zero. That's just like a rug pull. They would never even get to like opening up that people join their little Minecraft thing or something like that. Unless they do, and then they inadvertently just become like a trash like rug pull because I don't know. Who knows? Rug pulls when it's like goes to zero from taking the funds out, not like when the market conditions go in a decline that causes the projects to kind of like struggle or go into people selling. So anyways, that being said, some gaming enthusiasts have a love-hate relationship with crypto, particularly when NFTs are involved. Again, saying it once more, French gaming giant Ubisoft Entertainment was forced last year to backpedal on plans to integrate NFTs into this game after player backlash. In a October survey from blockchain entertainment provider Coda Labs found that traditional gamers weren't fans of cryptocurrencies or NFTs in general, though they didn't seem to mind NFTs used in gaming as much. If there becomes an increased demand for players for blockchain integrations, they will likely revisit their policies, Lee argued. Grant Hasley, the executive director at mobile and Web3 game development company Wagyu Games, told Cointelegraph that one success story is all that is needed to spark mainstream adoption. AAA studios will change their mind once they start yielding true market share to Web3 games. It's going to take one Web3 game to explode for the others to take flight. According to Hasley, mainstream hesitancy around adoption is out of fear. It will undercut the current business model of the consumer strictly paying for entertainment. They have a great thing going right now. The mobile gaming market, for example, has breached 100 billion and is trending upward, Hasley said, adding, if you can make a game on the fly and still maintain profitability without changing your model, why would you even consider something radical that could have lasting effects on your consumer base? So Justin Hulog, chief studio officer at Immutable Game Studio, shared a similar perspective, explaining that because NFTs and crypto fundamentally transfer ownership of digital assets from companies to players, it's unappealing for mainstream adoption. GTA V became the most profitable entertainment product of all time, and it is no secret that quite a significant portion of these profits result from microtransactions that contain in-game currency, he said. Microsoft also introduced microtransactions in Minecraft some time ago. I gotta close this door here. According to a 2020 report from market research firm Juniper Research, loot boxes and other microtransactions related features will net gaming companies $20 billion by 2025. Let's see. Loot boxes and other microtransactions are projected to net. Yeah, there's a little like schematic there. If anything, this can be interpreted as both companies acknowledging that NFTs and crypto are real-world assets that with value attached to them that could potentially threaten their business model, Hulog said. While he does think it is certainly a possibility that mainstream studios will embrace blockchain tech, he thinks they will likely start with something like adding support for cryptocurrencies as a payment method for their games and services. All right, so that's that right there. Article from Minecraft. GTA may yet change their tune on blockchain from the GameFi execs. Next article here. And we don't need that. You can just build your own. Just build your own stuff. Just like Minecraft and GTA. Paris blockchain that is interconnected to Web3 in your own ecosystem. And other people can join in and build their own games within the ecosystem. So it's like attached to an NFT or a token. Paris Blockchain Week 2023, a net positive for the entire crypto industry. This is from Prashant Jha, writer for Cointelegraph. A theme for PBW revolved around the evolution of Web3 in the mainstream and crypto industries past, present, and future. Paris Blockchain Week 2023 brought together some of the biggest names in the blockchain and crypto industry starting on March 21st. The 3-day event turned out to be a net positive for crypto industry, with prominent industry players coming together to discuss discuss and share their thoughts on decentralized ecosystems past, present, and future. The Cointelegraph team was present on the ground to bring readers some behind-the-scenes content, exclusive interviews, insight, video bits from industry experts, and more. Cointelegraph chief editor-in-chief Christina Lucrezia Cornier, head of video Jackson Dumont, and reporter Joseph Hall were tasked with bringing together readers a bird's-eye view of the event. The father of the metaverse reflects on the industry today. Even before the main event kicked off on March 21st, the Cointelegraph team caught up with Neil Stephenson, an American author who first coined the term metaverse in the 1990s. Cointelegraph chief and editor-in-chief sat down with Stephenson to reflect on the meaning of the word in today's world. Stephenson said that the meaning of the word has definitely changed while reflecting on the future of the metaverse to see mass adoption and very few takers in the bear market. He said that people and companies are skipping the important steps of building an economy first. The first day of the event kicked off on March 21st and turned out to be eventful. The opening keynote speech by Ethereum co-founder Joseph Lubin reflected on the growing demand for a Web3-based payment infrastructure and the need for a decentralized solution for traditional finance. And industry experts discussed the potential impact of MiCA among numerous expert panels throughout the day. And one that caught everyone's attention was a discussion on the implications and potential impact of the European Union's market and crypto assets MiCA regulation. Experts on the panel unanimously agreed that the upcoming regulations would help the European crypto industry overall. It would set a certain standard that other nations could potentially use in the future. Janet Ho, head of the EU policy on chain analysis, stressed the need for a review of the implementation of and obligations of the law and to consider feedback from government supervisors and industry participants. Tim Draper has a song about the current banking crisis with Bitcoin twist. The American venture capital investor Tim Draper took the stage at Paris Blockchain Week to talk about decentralization and the future of money. Draper addressed the ongoing banking crisis and promoted Bitcoin to be a true capital hedge. In his keynote speech, he said, "They have shaken our confidence in the banking system. What a really strong leader would do is build that trust back. Trust the banks that now remain and set them free." He also sang a Bitcoin song he had written 4 years ago, but believed was more relevant today.
Shuffle. Go. Get your hustle. Go flip that. KinSAMURAI, wherever you are. Thank thank you for Bitcoin, the blockchain, and more. You've started this snowball from the top of the hill, and now it's pervasive. It's the people's will. All right.
All right, so that's Tim Draper singing his Bitcoin song, Spittin' Fire, hashtag BTC, hashtag Paris Blockchain Week. On Twitter, no shortage of passion in the Parisian people despite nationwide protests. PBW 2023 had no shortage of enthusiasm or energy despite the host country seeing a nationwide protest following the French government's controversial pension reforms. Cointelegraph reporter Joseph Hall talked to the CEO of Animoca Brands, Robbie Young. Young said that the local government had provided a warm embrace for crypto and blockchain enthusiasts amid a sea of protests. He told Cointelegraph, all of that stuff happening out there is why we're here to begin with. The reason that we decided decentralization was a better way to do things was precisely because of our concern as to what might happen in the financial sector, which continues to be borne out. The second day of the event was equally packed and full of energy, with the Cointelegraph team on the front of the line bringing the latest updates. The first major panel discussion revolved around the complicated relationship of ethics in Web3. The industry experts took to the stage to discuss how current innovations will shape the future of ethics in Web3. Loic Brotens, CEO of Galleon, said that mixing innovation and ethics is complicated and explained, usually innovation comes first, and sometimes we have really bad things happen. After comes the ethics because we look at what the innovation has done. So the collapse of the banks is the crash course to Bitcoin. Obviously, know a lot of what's going to have that going on with that. So, Ledger CEO Pascal Guth here sat down with Cointelegraph, and they're talking about what the current banking crisis has taught. And the recent series of events show how Bitcoin can safely haven against the threat of central authorities. Basically, Bitcoin was designed in reaction to Lehman Brothers in the 2008 crisis. It was designed because you can't trust central authorities, and it's designed because it's clear that central authorities will fail. It's not a question of if, and more a question of when, Gauthier added. So don't trust anyone, verify 1inch co-founder. It's another exclusive interview with Cointelegraph 1inch Network co-founder Sergej Kunz reflected on the need for self-custody. He said that the FTX saga helped people understand the importance of self-custody, and the current banking crisis only highlights the importance even further. He also talked about the reasons behind a curtailed mass adoption of crypto, saying that people's understanding and education would be the key to achieving this. So, yeah, that's that there for Paris Blockchain Week being successful. I'd like to go into blockchain kind of news starting out, and then some crypto news, then some NFT news, metaverse news, tech news, finance news, and general news. Cointelegraph, first mover America's first citizen scoop up big chunks of Silicon Valley Bank. But this is important right here because this is notable. So within finance sector, right? Bank collapses, another bank just steps in and buys the bank, while the government also seizes it up and then buys it out, basically like an auction. And what can the second bank do? Taking on this bank's that's going to improve it or something. So we'll see. First mover America's first citizen scoop up big chunks of Silicon Valley Bank. The latest price moves in crypto markets. Whatever. This is from Lila Ledesma. This article originally appeared on First Mover Coin Daily's newsletter, putting the latest moves in crypto markets in context. From top stories, the Federal Deposit Insurance Corp announced that late Sunday that First Citizens Bank will acquire the deposits, loans, and branches of failed Silicon Valley Bank, an institution that catered to tech startups, including crypto firms. Bloomberg had initially reported that a deal was nearing completion and could be announced as early as Monday morning. I wonder if they're just going to, First Citizens will just be like, yeah, we don't deal with crypto and NFTs and any of that crap, or any of that tech stuff. Because I wonder how many positions they had with, crypto and stuff. So, in a statement, the FDIC said that all depositors of Silicon Valley Bridge Bank, the Bridge Bank set up by the FDIC after the collapse of Silicon Valley Bank, will automatically become depositor of First Citizens Bank and Trust Co. So, all deposits assumed by First Citizens Bank regional bank based in Raleigh, North Carolina, will continue to be insured by the FDIC up to the insurance limit. As of March 10th, Silicon Valley Bridge Bank reported roughly $167 billion in assets and nearly $119 billion in deposits. The crypto market managed to hold its ground over the weekend, with Bitcoin up 1% over the past 24 hours to about $27,900, and the cryptocurrency stayed at the top in a range of between $27,000 and $28,000 throughout the week after reaching almost $30,000 early last week. Simon Peters, an analyst at trading platform eToro, said in a note Monday that a short-term pullback is possible. After it was down slightly in the past 24 hours to about $1,700, European stocks opened up higher on Monday as investors hope for an end-to-end banking volatility. U.S. equity futures also edged higher. Kathy Wood's ARK Invest bought $12.6 million on Coinbase shares on Friday, the second straight day the investment firm purchased the crypto exchange's stock after the company received a Wells Fargo notice from the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission on March 22nd, sending the shares tumbling 16% the next day. The stock gained 1.5% on Friday to $67.33 per share, according to an email sent Friday night. 153,833 shares went to ARK Innovation EFT ARK, and 26,395 shares went to ARK Next Generation Internet EFT. The Wells notice was a warning from the SEC that it believes Coinbase violated investor protection laws and could be a signal that the SEC will sue the company. All right, is that, yeah. So yeah, first mover America's first system scoop up big chunks of Silicon Valley Bank. We got some more crypto news right here. G7 will push for tighter global crypto regulations in Kyoto. Discussions on a global framework will speed up ahead of a May meeting and finance ministers and central bankers from the group of 7 countries. All right, this is from Lavender at Cointelegraph. Writer reporter. Group of 7 industrialized nations will make global crypto regulations tougher, with a focus on increasing business transparency and consumer protection. Kyoto News reported Sunday, citing officials with knowledge of the plan. G7 discussions on regulating crypto will accelerate ahead of a meeting of financial ministers and central bankers from the countries in mid-May. Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida will host this year's G7 summit in Hiroshima. G7 members will state their joint intentions for tougher crypto policies in a leaders' declaration, the report added. Japan already has one of the tightest regulatory regimes for crypto, with FTX Japan customers being some of the first to get their money back from the collapsed crypto exchange. Regulators across the world have been working toward a global consensus on regulating crypto. The Financial Stability Board, a standard setter for the global financial system, put forward recommendations for global crypto rules last October. The risks involved with crypto were a topic of discussion on a meeting of the group 20 major economies last month in India. The group plans to submit a document on crypto rules at the meeting of the leaders in G20 nations in September in India. Crypto has come under more scrutiny from regulators following the collapse of the cryptocurrency exchange FTX last year and the recent failures of Silicon Valley Bank, Signature Bank, and Silvergate Bank. These banks were either focused on crypto or had ties to it. I mean, a lot of people have crypto and ties to crypto. Just those 2 banks, not so much. There's other things that was there than Bitcoin and crypto. Why those banks collapsed. Cointelegraph, top 7 legal and compliance jobs in the crypto market. Explore essential skills for top legal and compliance jobs in the crypto market. It's from Alice Ivey or something. Cryptocurrencies are a rapidly growing market that is changing how people invest, buy, and sell goods and services, the transfer of money. However, with the growth of this market comes an increasing need for legal and regulatory compliance, particularly concerning issues such as money laundering, fraud, and data protection. As a result, there is a demand on the crypto. But then you're like right back to centralization. So it's like we say this, let's we gotta be uncentralized, and we gotta like have our own funds and stuff like that. But wait, we have to have like all this need for legal and regulatory compliance. I mean, with things such as money laundering, it's like that's happening either way with cash. Okay, So the argument is like basically illegitimate at this point, that you have to do your own due diligence. You have to really watch something. You have to watch a project. You have to watch um, an ecosystem going on. And even then, it's like you got Silicon Valley Bank collapsing. It's like, do you really ever really know? So only do your own due diligence, and things like we need to unbank and have our own funds in our own wallet. It's your own research to do that and operate your own funds at your own discretion, outside of central banking. And that's why there's a lot of tools these days that are already doing that. But some certain tools are still attached to banks either way. So, um, so yeah, nose rings falling out. All right. So, a compliance officer in the crypto market is responsible for ensuring that the company complies with all relevant laws and regulations, including anti-money laundering, AML, and know your customer (KYC) compliance requirements. But again, like, uh, it's inevitable that, like, if you find a coin on the ground, you can do whatever you want with that coin. Like, there's no ID needed to find that coin on the ground and to do what you want with it, to go into the corner store and purchase 5-cent piece of bubble gum. Is what it is. So if you find like tokens like in a wallet and you can do something with it, or you show up, and you have Bitcoin and you can do stuff with it, and you just find it in your wallet, or you find like someone gives you a wallet, or you are rewarded with a Bitcoin wallet with Bitcoin in it, and you can do stuff with it because we change our position of how we transact, at least save yourself from picking up germs off the ground from the coin, at least. Legal counsel. A legal counsel in the crypto market provides legal advice and support to the company on a range of legal issues, including regulatory compliance, contracts, intellectual property, and data protection. Legal counsels in the crypto world require unique skills due to the complex and evolving nature of the cryptocurrency market. This also entails technological and legal skills. Legal counsels need to know the rules and legislation that apply to cryptocurrencies and other digital assets, as well as the underlying technologies like blockchain and smart contracts. Additionally, they must be able to handle the dynamic regulatory environment of the cryptocurrency business. They must also have exceptional analytical problem-solving abilities to decipher complicated legal and technical data, giving clients clear and succinct advice. Additionally, legal counsels must have strong communication and negotiation skills to represent clients effectively in legal proceedings and negotiations. And a compliance analyst in the crypto market is responsible for monitoring the company's compliance with regulatory requirements, conducting risk assessments, and developing and implementing compliance policies and procedures. Skills required for this role including strong analytical and problem-solving skills, knowledge of relevant laws and regulations, and the ability to work independently and as part of a team. And the KYC and AML analyst, analyst checks consumers to ensure they adhere to AML and KYC standards in the crypto market. KYC and AML analyst in the crypto market requires attention and detail, knowledge of regulations, risk assessment, investigative skills, data analysis, and communication skills to ensure compliance with anti-money laundering and know your customer requirements. And regulatory affairs manager, a regulatory affairs manager in the crypto market is responsible for monitoring regulatory developments, analyzing the impact on the company, and developing strategies to ensure compliance. And the chief compliance officer, they do their thing with the crypto market. In the crypto market, they're responsible for overseeing the company's compliance function, ensuring that the company complies to all relevant laws and regulations, developing and implementing compliance laws and procedures. And the data protection officer protects data, and such as the General Data Protection Regulation (GDPR). And data protection officers in the crypto industry require advanced knowledge of privacy regulation, expertise in data governance, proficiency in implementing security protocols, and ability to ensure data confidentiality, integrity, and availability. I mean, wallets are wallets. They're attached to something. A lot of times people have wallets attached to their NFTs that are also attached to their profiles on Twitter, so that's a different story. That starts to dox someone. Doxing, like just making known who someone is. So times are changing. for the privacy thing. So it is like, you know, a decentralized nature that on the ledger of a blockchain, if someone holds like tokens in their wallet and they hold an NFT in their wallet and they're just sporting their NFT up on Twitter, attached to their profile, and then it's a public figure or someone that is known, well, then there you go. I mean, that's like, can that's the decentralized nature that that person decided to go for themselves, uncentralizing the self to have your own choice and your own identity and your own discretion of who's looking at your identity, to be openly transparent and ledger on chain. So I mean, I get all this is going on, but you know, we're really talking about like on banking and you know, taking our own accountability for ourselves and how we earn, how we spend, what we transact with. You know, having a control of our own keys. If you don't have your own keys to your wallet, it's not your crypto. If you have the keys and only you have the keys to your wallet, it's yours. NFTevening.com from Lazy Lions and OpenSea team up for exclusive NFTs. This is from Antonio Madeira, writer reporter for NFT Evening. In Sydney, Australia, alongside OpenSea, Lazy Lions are excited to launch their groundbreaking Open Edition Mint. The event starts on March 28th and lasts for 24 hours. Participants can accumulate dark energy. By doing so, they will send a stance to win one of the 80 rare Bitcoin ordinals mint. Price 0.001 ETH plus gas. The groundbreaking Open Edition Mint and Glitches Quests. In this unique event, Lazy Lions and OpenSea introduce a innovative Open Edition Mint and, featuring an on-chain burn mechanism that results in the deflationary supply of NFTs. Great. So that's what I'm looking for, is like deflationary NFT contracts with a burn mechanism for this whole thing of burning your NFTs. So I will most definitely be looking at that smart contract structure of code sets, because it makes sense that that's there. And you already have deflationary tokens, so you just kind of take like the burn methods and you just program into the function aspects of ERC 721, which is the NFT smart contract. That's what it's called, ERC 721 smart contract. As participants acquire these assets, that's the programmatic and code part of it. Yeah. So their NFTs merge to create so all right, let's read this. A burn mechanism that results in the deflationary supply of NFTs. As participants acquire these assets, their NFTs merge to create a larger mass of dark energy. This intriguing twist ties to the Lazy Lions narrative, in which Glitch, the villain, is on a mission to locate his lost generals. Despite his initial plan being thwarted, Glitch now intends to liberate the Lions and enshrine them as his army's leader on the Bitcoin network. Lazy Lions join Glitch's dark energy recruitment. Glitch seeks allies to help him amass dark energy, which will enable him to reunite with his generals. Participants can support Glitch's cause by purchasing Open Edition NFTs, each of which is worth 100 dark energy points. As more NFTs accumulate in a participant's wallet, they automatically combine, creating a more potent reserve of dark energy. Ascend the leaderboard and secure a Bitcoin ordinal NFT. The more dark energy a participant collects, the higher they climb on the leaderboard. This will boost their chances of securing a mint spot for one of the limited 80 Bitcoin ordinal NFTs. Some dark energy NFT holders will receive an invitation to confront the Glitch in an intense high-stakes match with top 40 dark energy collectors, and 19 instant win positions will win mint spots. Additionally, 20 collectors who rank outside of the top 40 but possess at least one dark energy point will receive mint spots when the minting period concludes. The competition will extend for an additional 24 hours when a snapshot of the leaderboard will be captured and winners will be declared. The quest for Glitch's army commences on March 28th at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Don't miss the exciting opportunity when you're whether you're an experienced NFT collector or a newcomer to the scene. In the future of Lazy Lions in entertainment and digital ownership, Lazy Lions consists of 10,000 distinct NFTs, as well as Lazy Bungalows and Lazy Cubs, aspires to dominate the entertainment and digital ownership's landscape. They aim to do so through collaborative creation of groundbreaking innovations. Along with their rights holding, they are developing a robust, decentralized brand. This brand will enable holders to fully harness the intellectual property across various platforms. These include games, television, film, and other forms of entertainment. All right, so that's the Lazy Lions and OpenSea team up for exclusive NFTs drop in their ordinals collection, which are Bitcoin inscribed NFTs. So they're inscribed to what's called a Satoshi, and a Satoshi is the lowest denominational possibility amount, my nose ring's falling out once more, of a Bitcoin. And there are 2.1 quadrillion Satoshis in all of the 21 million Bitcoin possible as a max supply. All right, Sony eyes NFT transfers across multiple game platforms and reveals patent. Sony's NFT framework aims to integrate NFTs into gameplay with the technology representing skins and other popular in-game functionalities. Sony Interactive Entertainment, the video game Goliath running the PlayStation brand, filed a patent for a framework allowing users to transfer and utilize non-fungible tokens across multiple game platforms. Over several years, Sony's interest in crypto has been evidenced by numerous partnerships and trademark registrations. Adding to this list, Sony filed a patent titled NFT Framework and Transferring and Using Digital Assets Between Game Platforms. Sony NFTs framework aims to integrate NFTs into gameplay, wherein the technology can represent skins and other popular in-game functionalities. Summarizing the patent, the abstract explained and intended features. Responsive to the determination, the NFT is provided to the first end user entity so that the digital asset may be used via the NFT across plural different computer simulations and or across plural different computer simulation platforms. Moreover, it added that the NFT's ownership could be transferred to other end user entities for their own use across different simulations and platforms. The below diagrams entail Sony's intended use of the NFTs in gameplay. Right here. So, oh, that's an advertisement site. But this schematic right here, we got figure 1. There's a unique skin in this game that only one gamer / group can find. They will then own its NFT and can then use this skin in other games and other game systems of platforms. And you can have like a code. You can have like a code generator that's generating like randomized metadata, randomized like minting on the fly kind of metadata that is taking a compilement of assets, putting it all together, minting it on the fly to a chain, and spitting it out to be whatever skin you want, and now it's your immutable NFT. So whether someone else comes along and makes a duplicate of that, with the same components, that's a possibility for NFTs. Then you got a duplicate, but each are inscribed on their own amount. So it has a lot of different variety. That's where I see NFTs kind of going, is like you create it in the game, you mint it in the game as one possibility, or they roll out certain collections kind of like, on a seasonal level where you have duplicates of skins in like a PUBG kind of season pass where you can purchase whatever different items. Then a different season happens and they have new items in the shop that you can't acquire from the past season. And people sell their whole PUBG and PUBG Mobile and Call of Duty Mobile, Call of Duty whatever accounts, CSGO accounts, in all sorts of accounts with the structure because they've bought all these assets that they own in the account. And then they just sell their account off and they, change an email or whatever it is, and someone else owns the account and all the assets in it. But now it's like easier because that's like Web 2. It's Web 2. It's old gen stuff. Web 3 and new gen is like, let's make this transactional ability that people are selling and buying accounts anyways. Let's be the middle person in it kind of to the game themselves. Integrate this trade marketplace, kind of like how Steam has, the ability to sell skins on Steam for a PUBG game in the Steam marketplace, and it shows you, what you have, and it transfers to someone else. That's kind of programmatic to the game structure of the software end of the game and what's in your wallet on Steam, because it's a Steam-based game item and stuff like that. So in that regards, it's scarcity in a game when you have this NFT structure, and it only makes sense that games are going to do this. And it's not surprising. So everyone else is going to be like hating on it, who don't want it, starting out, how it's already going. And then other people are going to be like, I don't even know about this. And then one day they're just like playing their PlayStation video games and they didn't know what an NFT was. And then it opens up the doors to like mass millions of people who are like transacting with NFTs and trading their NFTs, doing whatever they do with NFTs in games. And then you got, so figure 2, you got figure 2 here. You got the digital asset, the network address. Then you got the metadata, the owner, the price, the terms, and it's in the pointer to the network address of the digital asset. And then you've got the blockchain that's rolling up all of this together, these two components, into the blockchain. And the blockchain is processing transactions, congrats, you found a unique skin, so you've been playing this game, you got this asset, you found a unique skin, Congrats, you found a unique skin. You've been awarded its NFT for the exclusive rights to use this skin in the game across other games and across other platforms. You can also transfer this NFT to others, and then you got the transfer function there, it says in figure 4. And congrats, you were the first person to beat the boss of this game. You now have the rights to use hunter damage weapons in other games per your new NFT. So this is like a rights NFT. This rights gives you the token gated access to have certain ability in the game. So certain things you do unlock in a game, like crates and stuff like that, or keys, are just game items. And if your game like crashes or deletes, so basically like if your game crashes, your power goes out, your Wi-Fi gets kicked off the wall, out of the plug or something like that, and you're playing, and whatever happens, and you lose your account. If you have your wallet attached and there's a rolled up wallet, again, that you have your own keys to or something, that you don't due diligence to lock your keys away, store your keys away, but the access of it is not lost in those type of scenarios like that, where it's all on chain. And even the game progress itself, if it starts to move to what's called, basically what all this is just smart contracts on the blockchain. So once all this game logic and game assets moves to smart contracts, then it's just game on for ledgering what's going on, so that if something does happen, a game crashes, a game network goes out, you pick it back up, it's right where you left off on chain because it's been hashed out in a prior block in time. So it's immutable and proven in time from the network that's unstoppable in block-to-block transactional hashing. So anyways, once implemented, PlayStation 5 users will be able to experience NFT use cases via mainstream gaming titles. As of December 22nd, the total number of game users on the PlayStation Network worldwide was 112 million, which continues to grow year on year. To understand what goes on behind a successful games, Cointelegraph recently interviewed a former Age of Empires producer, Peter Bergstorm. There's no black and white answers in game design, Bergstorm said, while highlighting that GameFi is about adding a new dimension of compelling gameplay to Web2 games. According to him, gamers don't care about the technology behind a good game. As a result, crypto entrepreneurs must incorporate blockchain, NFTs, play and earn, AI, artificial intelligence, G5, or whatever to make a better game, and gamers will buy. So, that's here. Sony eyes NFT transfer across multiple game platforms and reveals patent. So even if games like partner with each other also, and they have like cross-compatible assets, it's like you're bridging your NFT over to a whole different game, and it's all networked up into PlayStations, PlayStation 5 or whatever model they got out that has all this stuff built into it. And Microsoft probably will follow suit and whatever they do as well. NFT trader accidentally burns 129. I don't know if Microsoft will. I mean, if they do, they do it with Xbox, and they do it with their own protocol and probably their own blockchain or something, or competitive, whatever nature they choose for it. That's probably a bit centralized. So anyways, NFT trader accidentally burns 129K CryptoPunk. Brandon Riley paid 77 Ethereum for the NFT and irreversibly destroyed. It's from Andre Bagansky. This is so some NFT news. We're going to shift over to NFT news, some metaverse news, and finance, tech, and close out the stream. An NFT trader was devastated Friday to discover that CryptoPunk he purchased for 77 Ethereum went up in smoke after he accidentally sent the pricey piece of digital art to a burn address. Burn addresses, which are digital wallets that don't have a private key, are one-way gateways that can only receive assets like cryptocurrencies and NFTs. As a result, the NFT was permanently removed from circulation, preventing it from ever being traded or owned again. Brandon Riley, who purchased CryptoPunk 685 2 weeks ago, said he made an error when attempting to wrap the NFT to take a loan against it on Twitter. He told Decrypt he planned on posting CryptoPunk 685 for NFTFi.com, where he could earn a yield of around 7% per year. CryptoPunk 685 was approximately worth 129,000 Ethereum when it was acquired by Riley, according to the Ethereum Block Explorer Etherscan. Originally created in 2017, CryptoPunks is widely viewed as a blue chip collection on par with the likes of Yuga Labs, Bored Ape Yacht Club. With a market capitalization of over $1 billion, the cheapest CryptoPunk is worth over 109,000 according to NFT Price Floor. However, CryptoPunks were created before ERC 721 was established as a token standard for NFTs, making them incompatible with some marketplaces and applications designed for decentralized finance, such as NFTFi.com. Using a guide he found online, Riley tried to wrap his punk in an ERC 7. See, I don't do this kind of stuff. I like to just keep it core to what it is and not have to move it around so much. Because then you like fat finger something, you burn, you lock something away in a contract. You didn't have the one digit number there, and you just, I mean, in those cases, like the transaction fails. But in this case, You just put it in the wrong address. Unfortunately, yeah, using a guide, it is the guide online, even like legitimate that you found. Riley tried to wrap his punk as an ERC 721 token, creating a new digital token that proved he owned CryptoPunk 685, but would be compatible with NFT.com. But by inputting the wrong address, CryptoPunk 685 is now forever gone. Riley's unfavorable situation is indicative of an issue that many face in the digital assets industry due to often complex and irreversible nature in transactions. Do it like it's like the last breath you can actually take, and if you don't do this thing, it's the last breath, but if you do this thing, you just keep breathing. So do it like that, and think about it like that. Riley's unfavorable situation is indicative of issues that many face in the digital assets industry due to the often complex and irreversible natures of transactions. Because there are no financial intermediaries involved, there is nothing Riley can do to get his lost CryptoPunk back, which he described as both the beauty and the curse of self-custody. One Twitter user, it's not a curse. It's not. You just made the decision. It's not a curse. Like, let's not curse the situation. Just even like a bank, like you like, are you gonna like, it's not self-custody. It's not self-custody that's the issue. It's self-protocol of due diligence, of do your own research, that you are most definitely 100%, and then adding another 10% on top of it, like overdoing the percentage, to make sure that your transaction's correct. Then we're not relying on banks. Then you see how important it is, because the banks get lazy. The people get lazy on the in-between. They get lazy. Then where's your money? Oh, we accidentally traded it off into, I don't know. We forgot to make this sell on something like several hundred times, like for several months. Now all our money's gone. Because they're just, that's why the banks are collapsing. That's why you burn your own NFT, because you've been attached to the banks and stuff and that kind of practice. But when you really go down to it, you really are just going to need to put that extra 10% in, because you're doing it yourself. And you've been used, but it's normal. It's understandable. You've been used to someone else doing it. You've been used to the bank that are, people all relying on no banks themselves to all do it. And then it's just like, oh, we didn't trade the money this way or that way. And it all kind of collapsed and whatever. We didn't put it back into a stable part, during economic, this or that. And so it's just, you have to have an ecosystem of yourself that really is competent to stay afloat within itself, to transact properly. It's not the self-custody that's a curse. It's not. That's just my place on it. That's the blessing of it. That's the blessing that you have to get it right. One Twitter user named NFT Toga pointed out that the guide used by Riley has been updated, including language that specifically warns people not to send CryptoPunks to wallets formatted as burn addresses. Asking for some form of a reprieve, Riley asked Yuga Labs, when they say that, it's almost like the wrapped CryptoPunk is what gets burned, and it was in that formatting, this is like there, and they put the like burn address there in like maybe a document or something. And so then you gotta like, can you blame the document? I'm just speculating, but right. But, do you have, kind of like burn address attached to like when you unwrap your punk, the wrap punk is burned, for such a thing as a CryptoPunk loan or something like that. But, and that wrap punk is attached to burning to the burn address. And what was the documentation? I don't really know. I'd have to see it, but now it's been updated. So anyways, asking for some form of reprieve, Riley asked Yuga Labs, which purchased the IP of CryptoPunks from Larva Lab last year, if he could buy the V1 version of CryptoPunk 685. CryptoPunks V2 was released after a bug was found in the original collection smart contract. I wonder what that bug was. Riley said that he has not yet heard from Yuga Labs after tagging them in his post on Twitter, and Yuga Labs did not immediately respond to requests for comment on Decrypt. Sometimes NFTs are burned by accident, but rather as a way of making a statement. Last month, Jason Williams burned BASE 1626, worth $169,000 at the time, to symbolically shift the assets underlying network from Ethereum to Bitcoin in the form of an inscription made through ordinals. That's all right. Yeah, I mean, you got that 101 on ordinals. We're still seeing that Bitcoin marketplace on ordinals growth, and we'll have to see how that plays out because it's so early. But it's gotten new great toolings being built out for it, and recently just got put on Magic Eden marketplace, NFT marketplace that heavily deals in Solana and now ordinals. And ordinals again are NFTs attached to a 1 Satoshi denominational amount. Anyways, there's a big ad at the top. Venture B, how to get metaverse payments right in 2023 and beyond. So we're in some metaverse news out of NFT news. The metaverse will continue. The metaverse will continue to open as new frontiers of opportunity in 2023. It is no longer science fiction, but a place of where top venture capitalists like Verizon Ventures are making investments, and hundreds of brands are already operating, with many more likely to follow. As the metaverse market is projected to grow to more than 426 billion by 2027, and with Meta recently announcing it will double down on its investment in the metaverse, more organizations are thinking about how to build improved multi-channel e-commerce experiences that better capture opportunities in the immersed virtual world. So the possibilities of the metaverse are still coming into focus for payment enterprises, embedded finance, open banking, and banking as a service could all potentially benefit from the metaverse. This will also mean that the competition will be tougher than ever by experimenting with what consumers respond well to. Businesses can edge past their competition by creating new products, services, and channels in the metaverse. As more businesses venture into the metaverse, there are 3 observations that payment players, merchants, and fintechs should consider when designing platforms to optimize revenue and enhance consumer experiences. So build strong platforms to earn customer trust and gain adoption. So before a business can dive into the metaverse, they will have to overcome certain infrastructure challenges. Business leaders need to understand what plugins and APIs their organizations will need to support and enable smoother consumer experiences. Investments into infrastructure are needed not only to ensure consumer experiences are to ensure smooth consumer experiences, but instill checks and balances and fend off cyber and fraud risks. The more data that is available, the greater the privacy risk. On the flip side, if businesses can enforce tighter verification standards through processes like Know Your Business, KYB, Know Your Customer, KYC, customers' trust will increase, enabling firms to use data to innovate, predict trends, and improve the consumer journey. Businesses need to remember that consumers are accustomed to stable banking environments backed by stable financial institutions that guarantee smooth transactions. I mean, this is where you can be a business. Okay, listen, you can be a business. You don't have to be some person, but you can be a business and still be decentralized. You can be central business to yourself, operating for a product, a decentralized product, and be a central business, and let the operational aspects of the product operate in a decentralized manner. And that's why, you can still have the transparent backing of blockchain technology for what, token standards and NFT standard. NFT is still a token. It's all token. It's a token standard. A token standard for what is actually ledgered into its own protocol. So when you have like LPs, liquidity pool, smart contract addresses with tokens in them that are paired together, there's a leverage weighted immutable placement that with all its smart contracts on opens up and base protocols and safety standards and emerging technologies of safety that are protecting smart contracts from being attacked, then you have this basis in there to be self-sustaining as a business running a decentralized, that your consumers are fully decentralized in their operations within it. Consumers rely on this level of certainty. The still unregulated world of the metaverse actually raises some trepidation. The metaverse thing is like still something that needs, I think, a lot of work, but it's there to operate in a decentralized manner still. So until businesses can make their payment platforms in the metaverse as user-friendly and trustworthy as possible, widespread adoption is unlikely to happen anytime soon. Except the other day that 7,000 people showed up in Yuga Labs metaverse, and it was like massively fluid and transitional and workable. Then you got like, massive concerts that can happen in a virtual world where like start to scale and like hundreds of thousands of people are like, chilling and stuff. Anyways. So there's a growing opportunity in emerging markets. The virtual world can create this new means to capture up in upcoming segments across industries and countries, helping to level the playing field in markets where financial inclusion is poor. Arguably, one of the most valuable possibilities in the metaverse is that it will prove to pave the way for consumers from emerging markets to access this marketplace. Digital assets can be sold, traded, and are marketed through the metaverse marketplace, meaning an alternative way to accept a payment or a product or service, promoting inclusivity for underbanked customers. This will create new revenue streams and consumers that payment providers can tap into. Yeah, if you don't have a job and you can do a job in a metaverse, and you're like, if you're in like a village that has like, I guess, some infrastructure of network internet, and you can attach to a metaverse headset and show up for a job in like a piece of metaverse land that you do something in, and you're paid a token for that, then fine. Then fine. If you're like a police officer strolling the streets and finding someone who's like, trolling other people and saying like malicious things, and you show up for your job in that metaverse and you're somewhere else in the world, but you know how to do your job and it pays, that's like connecting the whole world in its own, way of function, that people are able to do value for service basically on a global level. And it doesn't have to be so like stuck to country and trying to get a job somewhere. You got to move, you got to do all this college stuff, you got to get into debt, you got to get visas to fly over somewhere just to do a job. The metaverse bridges that gap in one regards and solves something that is just not needed to go around that whole years and years of like just to go somewhere. Land is land. It all does the same stuff in different climates. It can have different properties, but ultimately the land is the land. It does the same thing. It provides sustenance of sustainability for life to thrive and survive and be sustained. So it doesn't matter what land you're on. Brazil, for instance, is seeing, all it is kind of like a gimmick. Like the country over here is like, set up like this to do this over there, so we should go over there like that one. At these days, it's like, you're gonna probably look to be a place that's like maybe like underdeveloped actually, and those places that are undeveloped don't want you there really, because they want to stay like underdeveloped. You want to keep your land like your land. Build some infrastructure in there, but ultimately, like, you don't have to have so much infrastructure, because they're building all that infrastructure because people need to have people to move there and do stuff. And do we really need to do that? That's something that the metaverse solves basically. So I have to move and develop and rip up all this land for that. Anyways, we should be consolidating land and saving it. And that's another thing metaverse solves. Consider partnering with other businesses. Businesses need to decide whether it's worth the time, risk, and investment to build their own robust platforms in the metaverse, or whether it's a better idea to partner with others that already have a presence there. While it can be attractive for businesses to invest in a high risk for high reward opportunity, business leaders should ask themselves whether their products and services are really beneficial to the metaverse. Ultimately, businesses should think about cooperation instead of competition. OpenSea, the largest NFT marketplace, for example, needs a lot of services around the world. While building out a new network, OpenSea still needs traditional players to help move money around, get access to different payment methods, and comply with local regulations. Many worlds have to work together in the metaverse to function. I mean, Amazon's launching their metaverse NFT marketplace. I mean, not a metaverse, NFT marketplace. I don't know if they'll do metaverse stuff, but they are doing an NFT marketplace from my understanding, whether it launches or not. But when it does, if it does, then it does. As we wait for the metaverse to evolve out of its exploratory phase, businesses should consider emerging opportunities that will create financial inclusion and accelerate growth. Rather than build potential risky and expensive platforms in the metaverse, businesses should first consider how they can most effectively partner with other metaverse players. Finally, widespread uptake of the metaverse will depend on consumer trust. Businesses that build bulletproof platforms and protect user privacy will have the most to gain in a still unknown and uncertain virtual world. So yeah, there's some aspects here. Kind of goes. I think this is a different thing. But yeah, interesting outtake. To intake in and think about for how to get metaverse payments right in 2023 and beyond. From the BBC, let's go into central news here around tech and then to finance and close out their stream. Jack Ma, Alibaba founder, seed in China after a long absence. Alibaba founder Jack Ma, who rarely has been seen in public in the past 3 years, has resurfaced at school in Hangzhou. The report said 58-year-old had kept a low profile since criticizing China's financial regulators in 2020. Mr. Ma was the most high-profile Chinese billionaire to have disappeared amid a crackdown on tech entrepreneurs. He recently returned to China after more than a year overseas, according to the South China Morning Post. The Alibaba-owned newspaper said he made a short stopover in Hong Kong, where he met his friends, and also briefly visited Art Basel, an international art fair. It added that Mr. Ma has been traveling to different countries to learn about agricultural technology, but made no reference as to why he disappeared from public view in recent years. Mr. Ma, a former English teacher, met staff and toured classrooms in the Yonghu School in Hangzhou, the city in which Alibaba is headquartered. He talked about the potential challenges of artificial intelligence to education, according to the school's social media page. ChatGPT and similar technologies are just the beginning of the AI era. We should use artificial intelligence to solve problems instead of being controlled by it, he said. Once the richest man in China, Mr. Ma gave up control to financial technology giant Ant Group in January this year. It was seen by some commentators as further evidence that he had fallen foul to the Chinese Communist Party for becoming outspoken and too powerful. So yeah, once again, the Chinese man, the richest man in China, Mr. Ma, gave up control of financial technology giant Ant Group in January. Ant Group was also a validator in, I believe, something like that in the Tron blockchain. I didn't know he gave up control of that, so I don't know. Does that mean you kind of get like bought out or something? I don't know. Whatever it is, he like is Ant Group potentially traded? I don't really know either. I would think so, but who knows? In October 2020, Mr. Ma told a financial conference that traditional banks had a pawn shop mentality. The following month, the Ants planned $26 billion stock market flotation, which there's my answer. Okay, which would have been the world's largest, was canceled at the last minute by Chinese authorities, who cited major issues over regulating the firm. Okay, you know what? I actually remember this. I just let slip my past news. Since then, there have been reported. I did know of him disappearing, but yeah, I forgot about this. That they were going to do that. Since then, there had been reported sightings of him in various countries, including Spain, the Netherlands, Thailand, and Australia. Last November, the Financial Times newspaper reported that Mr. Ma had been living in Tokyo, Japan for 6 months. When Mr. Ma first stopped making public appearances, he was rumored that he had been placed under house arrest or had been otherwise detained. Jack Ma, Alibaba founder, seen after a long absence there. So that's kind of like the world news kind of thing going on about. Actually, that was kind of more like tech news, basically. All right, SVB hearing, consumer confidence quarter end, what to know this week. So this is kind of like just an overview in the finance sector. An eventful first quarter will come to a close this week in the shadows of a banking crisis hanging over the market that has remained resilient this year, with the Nasdaq sitting at 12% or on a 12% year-to-date gain through Friday's close, and the S&P 500 up 3.4% so far this year. This is from Miles Upland, head of news on Yahoo Finance. In the first week ahead, the first of what will likely be several congressional hearings on the several events surrounding the Silicon Valley Bank collapse will be held Tuesday, when the Senate, that's tomorrow, Senate Banking Committee grills Federal Reserve Vice Chair for Supervision Michael Barr and FDIC Chair Martin Gruenberg, among others. And the economic data front reads on consumer confidence from the Conference Board and the University of Michigan will pick up some initial readings on how the current banking crisis will affect average Americans. Still, investors are likely to remain focused on how markets react to rolling concerns about banks worldwide, with recent volatility and how wild prices swings, particularly in the bond market. Resolve as we reach the final day of the quarter on Friday. Each week's data calendar will be busy, but none of the releases are likely to offer markets direction until Friday, wrote John Canavan, lead U.S. analyst at Oxford Economics, on a note on Friday. Data on personal income and spending, which also includes the latest read on the personal savings rate on for February, will be released Friday morning, offering an overview on how U.S. consumers are spending and saving across categories. So from the S&P 500, quotes details there. And on the earnings side this week, news flows will remain muted as we remain about 2 weeks out from the first quarter earnings season ramping up. Through investors will closely watch results from Micron Technology for updates on investment in the tech space, and results from Lulu and RH for our additional checks on higher end consumers. Cal-Maine Foods, Calm, the biggest egg producer in the United States, will also likely get a few more eyeballs on its report as investors track down the big swings in egg prices over the last few months translate to corporate results. Last week, all three major averages rose more than 1%, though none logged a gain worth of 2% through a week that began with Swiss banking giants UBS and Credit Suisse announcing an emergency merger finished. The investor concerns about the health of German banking giant Dutch Bank DB doubled up to cap this week, as Yahoo Finance's ally Canal report Friday. Wall Street's analysts appear both sanguine about the status of Dutch Bank and, to some extent, frustrated by continued questions about what may be the next bank to fail during this crisis. We have no concerns about Dutch's viability or asset marks. To be crystal clear, Dutch is not the next Credit Suisse. Stuart Graham, the Leona Lee strategist at Autonomous, subsidiary of AllianceBernstein, wrote in a news research note. So we got the Dutch Bank analytics chart there. Data out late Friday also gave investors one of the strongest indications yet of just how much stress the U.S. banking system has come under, with Federal Reserve's weekly report on bank balance sheets revealing small and mid-sized banks lost $120 billion during the week ending March 15th, while the SVB linked panic and lack of FDIC insurance on deposits above $250K explain most of this shifts last week. It is the surge in interest rates that that's having the bigger effect, wrote Paul Ashworth, chief North America economist at Capital Economics, in a note on Friday. Since peaking almost exactly 1 year ago, remember the Fed's first rate hike came at mid-March 2022 meeting. Deposits at all domestic banks have fallen by $663 billion, or 3.9%, as money has flowed into money markets, funds, and bonds, Ashworth added. Nose ring keeps falling out of my nose. Unless banks are willing to jack up their deposit rates to prevent that flight, they will eventually have to rein in the size of their loan portfolios, with the resulting squeeze on economic activity. Another reason to expect a recession is coming soon. Economic calendar Monday, Dallas Fed manufacturing survey, March expected down -10%, -10 expected to with -13.5 previously. So that's on an economic calendar. Tuesday, FHFA home. You get it, right? I got this article here. You can read through it on your due diligence for economic calendar for this week coming up, and earnings calendar on Monday, Tuesday for different companies coming up as well. So that's that, right, on Yahoo Finance. SVB here in consumer confidence quarter end and what to know this week. Let's close out this stream. Let's close it out. Let's see. We'll be back tomorrow with more news and article readings and what's going on. Doesn't even have to necessarily be news. Anyways, U.S. and Mexico weighing deal for Mexico to crack down on fentanyl going north, while U.S. cracks down on guns going south. This has been a big debate thing, so it's not something to watch at and look at recently on global news to close out this stream. The tentative agreement is the result of months of tense discussion between top Biden administration officials and the Mexican government, sources say. The U.S. This is from Julia Ainsley, writer-reporter for NBC News. The U.S. is preparing to announce a deal with Mexico to counter fentanyl coming across the southern border, with Mexico cracking down on labs and smuggling, while the U.S. does more to stop the flow of U.S. guns into Mexico. Two sources familiar with the strategy told NBC News. Mexican military and police, with the help of U.S. law enforcement, will focus on tracking raw materials for fentanyl being shipped to Mexico, finding and shutting down labs that make the deadly synthetic opioid, after going after key players in the illicit fentanyl trade, the sources said. In return, the Biden administration has agreed to more tightly control and track firearms crossing from U.S. into Mexico. The tentative agreement is the result of months of tense discussions between top Biden administration officials and the Mexican government, the sources say. I mean, let's face it, all this economic shit, ruin, blah, 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 blah. There's still actually real things that the government is doing, apart from like money and banking and stuff like that. There is actually like crises that the government does handle, like outside of like Ukraine's one of them, but this is like another one. So just saying, The White House and the Justice Department did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Previously, NBC News reported that current and former U.S. officials said that the relationship between U.S. and Mexico in the war to fight drugs had recently reached a low point. Mexican President Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador said in a speech this month that fentanyl is America's problem, and that none of the drug is produced in this country. Where we do not produce fentanyl, we do not have consumption of fentanyl, Lopez Obrador said, suggesting that the U.S. instead take care of its problem of social decay. In the fiscal year 2022, Customs and Border Protection found and confiscated over 50,000 pounds of fentanyl crossing the southern border. Mexican cartels often use the powerful drug to cheaply and deceptively boost the impact of other, less lethal drugs, such as cocaine or Adderall. Many users don't know they're using fentanyl until the drug has ended their lives. According to U.S. National News Institute of Health, more than 70,000 people in the U.S. died from synthetic opioids, primarily fentanyl, in 2021, the latest year for which its data is available. During the conversations between U.S. and Mexican officials, the sources said that Mexicans routinely said that U.S. guns were taking Mexican lives, and that any conversation about fentanyl taking U.S. lives should also address that problem. As a result, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives had agreed to more tightly monitor the flow of guns from the U.S. to Mexico, the sources said. Another part of the agreement will include giving each country access to each other's data about where fentanyl turns up to better track distribution routes. Part of the struggle is to curb the flow of fentanyl from Mexico is that Mexico is experiencing high levels of violence, absorbing the attention of its police and military. 4 Americans were kidnapped and 2 were killed this month in Mexico. U.S. federal enforcement law entities work closely with the Mexican government to root out drug smuggling. Now the Mexican government has agreed to provide more staffing, while the U.S. is ready to commit more money toward operations targeting drugs, the sources say. Depending on how much money the U.S. commits and how much Mexico accepts, the new strategy could be the most robust agreement on drugs and firearms flowing between Mexico and the U.S. since George W. Bush's administration's Merida initiative in 2004. In this initiative, the U.S. provided more than $1.5 billion to Mexico. It has yet to determine how much financial assistance the U.S. will give Mexico as part of the latest plan, the sources say. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of people dying from this fentanyl thing. And probably a lot of guns supporting that on the other end of things. So that's why I just was noting that. And that's kind of it. That's kind of it on this stream. And that's all I got. So if you're on the YouTube side, please do subscribe, turn on the bell notifications right here to Blockchain Tech and Finance News. I will see you all back tomorrow with more article readings. Put your chat in there, what you want to see and read from, what you think is important, and maybe you'll just see it right up here on Blockchain Tech and Finance. Again, have a great and safe, kind day. Onomashikasu. Peace be with you. Cheers. Ciao.